Copilot isn't magic. It's only as good as what we ask it to do. So if we give Copilot bad instructions, don't be surprised if you don't get the answers you want. So in today's video, we're going to master something called Copilot prompting. Now, I'm Jonathan, the Bearded 365 guy, and this is the latest in a video series all about Copilot. I want to help you adopt Copilot into your business to make your business more efficient and more profitable. Now, we've got a bit of a problem. We've got this fancy new AI technology called Copilot, but we don't know how to use it. For the first time in our lives, we're getting asked to give AI agents certain commands, things we want doing. But what ends up happening is we just stare at a blank command box, not knowing how to instruct Copilot. Or worse still, we give it vague instructions, and Copilot doesn't give us back what we want. So we think, well, I might as well just do the job myself. And then I'll tell the world that this Copilot rubbish is just that, rubbish. But here's the thing. If we can just learn some basic skills on how to get the best out of Copilot, that is when Copilot becomes really powerful. And suddenly, we can save 30 seconds here, 5 minutes there, 45 minutes there, 45 seconds here. And then we'll wonder how we ever lived without Copilot. So what are these skills that we need to learn? Well, these skills are called prompting. So what's a prompt? Well, we use prompts throughout Copilot. We use it when we're using Copilot in office applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. We use prompts when we're working with Copilot chat. Put simply, a prompt is how you instruct and interact with Copilot. Now imagine for a second that Copilot is your new assistant. How would you interact with your new assistant?
Hi, Copilot here. How can I help?
Oh, can you write me a proposal for a new client, please? Can you keep the tone fairly professional?
I'm going to need a bit more information than that. Have you never used me before? Do you know what you're doing?
I mean, you just wouldn't talk to your new assistant like that, would you? But you could try something like this. Hi, I'm going to need a proposal for a new client. The proposal has to detail our services and pricing to the customer. Now, the customer is called Joe Bloggs Accounting. I'd like you to look in my OneDrive. There's a Word document called Our Services. Please use this for inspiration. Oh, also, in my OneDrive, there's a review document all about Joe Bloggs Accounting. Use that one as well. I want you to keep the tone really professional, but don't use any language that they might not understand. Okay?
Yeah, you got it.
Did you see the difference between those two prompts? Now, when it comes to prompting, there's a framework that you can follow. And if you follow this framework, you will get the very best from Copilot. The framework is what I'm going to teach you for the rest of this video. So without further ado, let's go. Now, the framework that you should be following is called the GCSE framework. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's start at the start. Let's start with G. G stands for goal. What is your goal here? What are you wanting back from Copilot? Is it a proposal? Is it an image? Is it a list of ideas? Is it a summary of Teams messages? You start every prompt with your main goal. Now, if you look at my previous example, when I asked Copilot for a proposal for Joe Bloggs Accounting, that was my goal. My goal was I wanted a proposal, and I wanted it to include certain sections on our services and our pricing. Now, that was a very clear goal. So, moving on to C. What does C stand for? Well, C stands for context. Let's give Copilot some context. Why do you want this goal? Who is it for? What is it for? So again, going back to my example, my context is this proposal is for Joe Bloggs Accounting. Nice and easy. But your context could be that you need the information for a blog you're writing. Or you need a summary of Teams messages because you've got a meeting with that person later in the week. Once you've got your goal and you've given Copilot your context, we then move on to S. And S stands for source and not tomato sauce. When Copilot is preparing to give you your perfect answer, where should it be looking for information? It needs to get its data from somewhere. Again, going back to my example, I was very clear. I had a couple of Word documents in my OneDrive that could help Copilot with this prompt. We had an Our Services Word document and also a document about Joe Blogs accounting. That means that Copilot can go ahead, read those documents, and give me a really good response. Now, other sources could be Teams messages, it could be your emails, it could be your calendar, or it could be other information in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem, or even information on the World Wide Web. And finally, we move on to E, which is expectations. How do we want Copilot to behave? Do you want Copilot to reply in a professional tone, or maybe be quite funny? Do you want a really detailed response, or maybe just a simple one? Do you want Copilot to avoid using technical jargon? This section is where you can put the expectations of how you want Copilot's response to be. So that's it. That's the GCSE framework for better Copilot prompting. Now, if you practice this often enough, you're going to get really good at it, and suddenly Copilot will be really valuable. In fact, I think you'll get so good at it, you'll start to use it in all areas of your life. You'll end up coming home from work one night and going, I'd like spaghetti bolognese for my dinner tonight, because I'm hungry. Now, I'd like you to get the ingredients from the fridge and the cupboard, and could you make it quickly? So, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's another in the Copilot series. I look forward to seeing you again soon.